Something guys, so you join me in sunny Sheffield today, a bit of city riding, a little bit different to what I'm normally doing. To be fair, I used to live in Sheffield. Lived in Sheffield for about 6-7 years. And that is no pun intended, 6-7, all that bollocks. Yeah, for about 6-7 years I lived in Sheffield. So I used to the roads and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, so I've actually come to Sheffield to do my theory test. And I am happy to say I've passed.
Yeah, boy. That's it. That lovely.
Granted, I've passed by one question, I'll be honest with you. And I'm not surprised. I thought I was going to fail, to be fair. Like, coming up to doing the test, I've not really had much time to practice my theory. It's not an excuse. I've had so much going on, like life-wise, just constant things going on. So I've not really had much time to practice my theory, but I've practiced it every now and again, and I've passed it. I've probably got like a couple of questions wrong, sometimes none. So I went into it quite happy. Like, obviously I know that I've not practiced, but quite happy, like thinking, oh yeah, I'm probably going to pass here. But I'll be honest with you, the questions in the actual test I've just done, not once on any of the mock tests I've done and on like any of the stuff before, those questions have just not come up. And it's just questions like, just stuff like you just won't do. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. It asks you about like trams and stuff like that, like what's the speed limit sign for, and it's 30 miles per hour zone, but it's for a tram. And I know, like, obviously you should know your road signs, but I don't need to know a road sign for a tram. I'm not driving a tram, I'm riding a bike. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit, there's some questions, and then one of the questions it asked me was, if you're driving on a red route, if you see a single red line, what's it mean? I'll be honest with you, I've never even heard of that. I've been driving for like 10 years on a motorbike and 7 years on a car, and I've never had that in my theory test. I've never had that in hazard perception. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen that, so fair enough, I probably should have known it. I don't know if I got it right, I don't know if I got it wrong. That is something when you do your test, it tells you what your score is, but it doesn't tell you what you've got wrong. It just says, like, on this area you got this many questions right, you got this many wrong and stuff, but it doesn't actually tell you what question you got wrong or right, which on your mock test it obviously does, and I think on your real test it should still tell you, so you know. Because obviously I don't know what I've got wrong. I don't know if what we're answering were correct or not. But then it was like a question about, like, if you are towing, if you're towing I don't know, like if you're towing anything on a motorbike. So if you've got like I don't know what you call them now. Basically, if you've got something on two wheels behind you and you're towing it, what is the maximum width it can be in meterage? I don't fucking know. Why the hell am I ever going to tow something on the back of my motorbike? Like, I really don't understand it. Like, yeah, fair enough, if I was driving a car, then yeah, I might tow something on the back of a car. But on a motorbike, it just asked me, and I'll be honest with you, I put 1.6 metres wide. I ain't got a clue. It will be between 1 metre, 1.6, 2 metres and 3 metres. And I chose 1.6, so I'm like, well, she can't be too wide, surely. Because obviously on a motorbike, but I just thought, fucking hell, like, when am I going to ever tow something on a motorbike? I don't think I've ever seen anyone in my life tow something on a motorbike apart from another bike when it's broken down. So there's just a few questions in there, which is just like, a lot of it's common knowledge, but then also some of the harder questions, you just sat there looking at it thinking, what the hell? Like, I've never seen that type of question before. Why would I need to know that? It was just a bit odd. And then the hazard perception test, I did well on the hazard perception, which it's not really surprised me, because like I say, I've rode bikes for a while, and I think I'm a better driver in a car than normal, because I've had that much experience of being on a motorbike, and you kind of like start looking out for a lot more stuff than what you would if you'd ever been on a bike. So I weren't worried about the hazard perception, but saying that, the hazard perception part of the test, when you do a mock test, there's like, you do about four mock videos, and there were 14 hazard perception videos you had to do, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I didn't realise it was that many. But then obviously you get scored on a ranking system, so it's like if you click as soon as you see a hazard, you get 5. If you do it as soon as it goes a bit later on, the score goes down. But then it's like when it's watching the video and it's telling you how it works, it's just a little bit odd. Like, it explains it that whenever you first see the hazard, but to me it's not a hazard yet, if that makes sense. Like now, that car there, which is going onto a slip road, that I'd have to click then, because that's a hazard, because it's going onto a slipway. To me, that's not this one here, left hand side, that's obviously a hazard. But then, it depends where you click and how soon. And I think as well as your ranking system, it's as soon as you see that in your peripheral vision, that's classed as a hazard. So yeah, it's a little bit odd. It's harder than, I think some of the questions on there don't need to be on there. Like, you're doing a test for a motorbike, I don't need to know about trams. Obviously, yeah, it asks you about, like, why should you take care if you're driving on a road and there's tram lines? It's because it's slippery, obviously. That's fair enough. But asking me, like, what does this tram sign mean? What speed limit can this tram go? Why the hell do I need to know that? I mean, yeah, I've got it right because I know that question, but why do I need to know how fast a tram's going? I just need to know if I'm allowed to drive on that road or not, and if there's tram tracks, to be careful. It's just, yeah. And then there's like the chucking the odd question, like, which is basically, they call it a real life scenario question. Fucking, it's not real life at all. It's furthest thing away from it, but it's like, oh, you're trying to get in there, but someone on a slip road, like, that's a hazard there. But it's just like some of the questions, it's just, yeah, like I said, a real life scenario. It's like you're going down a road at 40 miles per hour. There's a car behind you with a green flashing light. They're going fast and coming up to you, and then it says it started raining and there's a car in front of you and it's spraying water at you. The sun's come out later on and drying up the road, but the sun's come down low. And I'm not kidding you, that's not even me making that up in my head. That's literally the question I got asked, and then the answers, and then the question you get asked. That's the scenario. Then the questions where you get asked afterwards is like, the questions didn't even ask me about what a green flashing light means. It asked me like, why should you be careful later on at night? What will it do to your bike? It's not going to do anything to my bike. Like, it's going to do something to me. Like, if the sun's coming down and it's been raining, it's drying up, and yeah, you can get dazzled and stuff like that. But just some of the questions on it, it's just like, fucking hell. I don't know, like, let me know in the comments, like, what is your thoughts on the motorbike theory test? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's like a bit too... I don't know, in my eyes, yeah, I'm fair enough, I'm happy I've passed it. But then at the same time, I mean, yeah, obviously I'm happy, but at the same time I just think, if you're going to do a theory test on bikes, make it more towards bikes. There's a lot of questions on there which I answered. I can't even remember them all now, but there's a lot of questions on there which I answered, which I'm like, it's just not suited towards a bike. And there's a hell of a lot of stuff on there as well about first aid training type stuff. Like, it asks you, obviously, how many beats per minute should you do CPR at? It's 120. And I just know that because I just remember 60 beats per minute from when I used to DJ, like, it's a very, very low thing, and then obviously you double it. And it's same for the wear on there, like, obviously, if you come to a crash, what should you do if someone's had a burn? And obviously the question is trying to douse it with cold clean water. And I know stuff like that, but also at the same time, it's not about a motorbike. I don't know, I might be overthinking it, but at the same time I just think, well, some questions on there, I don't need to know I'm driving a motorbike. I'm not doing a first aid course here. And I'm also not driving a tram, and I'm also never going to be towing a vehicle behind me on a motorbike. So yeah, again, happy I've passed my theory test, very happy with that. So obviously I've got 2 years now to do my full bike test. I'm not in a rush to do my full bike test. I've got a couple of things coming up this year, but obviously I'm going to save a bit of money and then go in to get the full test done soon. I say soon, it's not going to be soon because I need to book some time off work to do it. But most likely the start of a new year. Like I said, we're in June already. I don't know yet. I'll see what happens. If I can save up some money to the side and I can potentially get some days where it arranges just a flex time and I might get it booked in. But I'm not in a rush to do the full test yet. Like I said, I've passed my I've passed my theory test now. That was the main part that I wanted to get done. So that's done, so I'm happy with that now. I've just remembered, this is the thing that I need to remember, because my maps is telling me to go on motorway when I've told it not to go on motorways. And I'm used to driving a car and going on motorways, but obviously, yeah, I'm going to ignore that map because I know where to go. But yeah, if you've done your theory test, guys, let me know what you think about it. If you think it's needs some changing, if you think it's easy, if you think it's hard, if you think some of the questions are just should be more suited to bikes. Interesting to know what you all think about it. Yeah, theory test passed. On to the next stuff.